Logic is a tool, wisdom is judgment. I've listened to countless debates where men and women try to pull or push each other into opposing camps. You know, men often argue that women are emotional, while men are logical. I'm sure you're familiar with that. Now, women, on the other hand, they are quick to question a man's logic whenever his action or decision don't make sense to them. You grab. But my conversation today is not really about logic or emotion. My conversation is to help us understand that there's actually a difference between logic and wisdom. Now, I like to state this very clearly. Logic is not wisdom. Logic is a tool. Wisdom is judgment. The fact that a person tends to think logically does not necessarily mean that every decision they take, every action they take will produce the desired outcome. A logical person still has blind spots. They make errors in judgment, they can make foolish decisions, and they will do things that generally make you want to question their logic. They can be selfish. Yeah. They can be greedy. Are you following? This person is logical but can be greedy. And then they can also they can also become so committed to a line of reasoning that they fail to see what should have been obvious. I mean, you are just looking and you're like, but this thing is obvious now. But this other logical person isn't seeing it. See, logic simply help a person to arrive at conclusions in a structured and a consistent manner. It does not guarantee that their assumptions, values, motive, objections, and every other reason behind their conclusion are sound or aligned with wisdom. On the other hand, this is wisdom. It's different from logic. Wisdom knows when logic might be missing an important variable or an important component. Like I said before, something is obvious, but a logical person may not see it. But wisdom might just pay a little more attention. Wisdom also understands human nature. Wisdom will consider consequence beyond immediate outcome. I know that's why women sometimes look at the consequence and they are like, and this man said it was logical. Wisdom also recognizes that being technically right can still lead you to a wrong result. You have said this is how it's supposed to follow. See, a person can be highly logical and still make decisions that damage relationship, destroy opportunities, or create problems for themselves and even others. You'll see this when you look at relationship. A man is doing something and you're like, if you were this logical, would you place your family in harm's way like this? But here's a key distinction. A logical person is not necessarily guided by how they feel in the moment. Now, when we say they are logical, it means that how they feel is not what influences what they do or what they do not do. It does not necessarily mean that whatever they ultimately do is wiser. It is just that they have a more consistent reasoning. Wisdom focuses on something else. Wisdom requires experience, humility, consideration for perspective, self-awareness, then the ability to also recognize your own limit too in your thinking. See this. As a man particularly, your goal should not be to choose between emotion or logic. As a woman, emotion or logic. No. The goal should be how to develop the kind of wisdom that will combine both. The kind of wisdom that teaches you, hey, I don't need to act on my emotion. I need to process whatever has happened to me or how I'm going to respond. Now, that's wisdom. That's you saying, I know what's happening is not good. I know what I'm feeling might not be good. But let me not act on it. Like I tell people, logic is an emotion that has gone through the process of thinking, analysis, consideration for consequence, perspectives. So if you would follow, I will just put it this way. Logic is a processed emotion. Logic is an emotion that has gone through criticism, consideration, and things like that. So the fact that a person is logical, we shouldn't mistake it that they are wise. And even wise people do make mistakes too, because in the end, we are humans. I hope you think about this. My name is Roland Ebenezer. I'm just here to say, hey, think for yourself, lead your own life. It's one thought at a time. Catch you in the next one.